Or the Honourable Member for Forrest.
I thank you, Deputy Speaker, and I certainly support the motion by the member for Banks and wholeheartedly agree that everybody in this House should be doing everything we can to keep our kids safe. And while the government is going through this process, we could have already had a trial in place, and should have, in the way that the member for Banks has articulated. Now, having given hundreds of cyber safety presentations to school kids since being in this place, hundreds, I can speak with a lot of authority on what the kids are dealing with, which is why I so strongly support this. 2 years trial wouldn't have been much to ask for, as the E-Safety Commissioner did. And every day, more and more kids are being affected by this, by their accessing pornography and what it does to them in their lives. The E-Safety Commissioner actually said there's already age assurance technologies that can be used right now to help protect children from online harm. And that's what the government should have done immediately, not waiting, not giving the porn industry even more opportunity to get to our children. That is not okay. It is not okay. And of course, the government has said no to this trial. And when I looked at the E-Safety Commissioner, an office that we set up in government, when looking at this, the E-Safety Commissioner titled this "A Matter of Principle Guiding the Age Verification Roadmap." That is what this discussion is about today, is the actual age verification, the matter of principle. It is not okay for the government to wait. You don't wait when you're talking about kids being safe online. And I talked to the older age group of kids, one group of kids in my electorate who came to me to tell me they were desperately concerned. They were 15 and 16-year-olds. And they had 9-year-olds that they knew were watching live streaming, and this was live streaming of sex acts online. Why is that okay? Why isn't age verification important in that space? Equally, in my time of dealing with the issues that the young people have talked to me repeatedly about in those hundreds of cyber safety presentations, what about the GPs who've had to deal with the internal damage that young women have experienced because the first experience of learning about sex was from a pornography site by a young man? Why is that okay to continue? But it is not. It is not. And of course, because pornography, particularly that depicts violence, has a direct harm, and it has mental harm as well as physical harm, as I've just said. And of course, the majority of parents indicate that children as young as 4 are using the internet. Look what they would have access to. And it only takes the wrong words typed in, and guess what they can come up with right now? And of course, educators are now reporting, as the E-Safety Commissioner has said, that young children from year 1, aged 6 and 7, are viewing, sharing and discussing pornography at school. Why wouldn't the government be doing everything it could, even with a trial, to start to actually try to address this? It is not okay in anyone's language, ever. And this is and should be an ongoing issue for all of us, and I take this very seriously and personally with the amount of effort that I've put in to try to help to keep our kids safe. So, 3/4, E-Safety's own research, 3/4 of 16 to 18-year-olds have viewed it at some stage, the most of that before the age of 16. And it is violent, and it shows that lack of respect, consent or agency, particularly for women and less dominant partners. So this affects young people all the way through their lives, and it isn't okay for any child to access pornography in this way. It scares them so much, okay? The younger they are, the more damage it does to them when they access this. And often they won't talk about it to anyone because they know that they've done something wrong, they're scared, they're worried. And I say to them, please find your trusted adult, the person you can talk to, no matter what happens to you online, even if you've done something that you think you shouldn't, or if you're scared or worried or upset. Have that trusted adult that you can talk to is always going to help you. But I just wonder, while we wait for what the government is trying to do here, how many more kids are going to be affected by this? Every one is one too many. And that's how I've approached what I've done in my own electorate. every one child matters, and every one child I can help keep safe online, I will.
I thank the honourable